Pinney.com. And the email address is gilpinney@yahoo.com. I'd love it if you call in and give me some feedback, and you can request some complimentary items because we have plenty to hand out to everyone. Today is June 1st, which means first Monday of the month. That means my my most recent newsletter is available. And if you would like that, please send your information to my website, go to my website and make that request, or go to send me an email. It's already 5:08, and we're going to transition into letting you know why in the world I became a business coach. During my career working for some very large companies, I found that I could gain a competitive edge by helping our supplier base. No major tricks there, but in many cases, the suppliers were sole proprietorships and small companies with only 5 to 25 people. My technique was to work with them to improve their quality, their safety, in many cases their billing practices, and then offer them some training programs. Some companies felt that doing this was intrusive to their business and not really providing the partnership that I intended. So over time, those suppliers went to the wayside, but those who accepted the gift of our partnership and assistance saw that their company both grew with the companies that I was working for, but they also gained more consistency and better on-time delivery, and they were gaining other customers as well. So this effort had a major impact on their bottom line. As their scheduling became more reliable and they had fewer quality errors, their companies grew faster than what the competitors that they had previously could keep up with. So it was great for everyone. And to be honest, I truly, truly enjoyed helping them and making them grow. And the challenge for them was just to keep up with the new and better perspective that we had for their business. My company, on the other hand, became much, much more effective as well. We would get more business as a result of our predictability in what we did. So it worked out very well for both sides, and I fell pretty much in love with dealing with small business owners and making their businesses better. So the next question comes out, why in the world would you pick a franchise instead of just doing this on your own? I don't ever pretend to know everything, and looking at the Focal Point franchise, the people there matched my passion to help small business and move the needle from good to great performance. Focal Point is also a worldwide franchise based on what Brian Tracy teaches, sales improvement and day-to-day performance improvement. So he's world-renowned. He's written over 70 books, and he's pretty much the go-to guy for many, many people. And Focal Point uses the Brian Tracy material along with the material written by a gentleman named Cam Fraser for 5 different modules, 12 courses in each module. So it's a full-blown, complete program that I could never duplicate because the content is so good. Well, it allows, by having that program, it allows us to have a cost-effective program for any business because we can customize to exactly what that business owner needs. Really a good franchise and excellent training. Now, enough of the housekeeping and why we're doing what we're doing. Let's talk Tampa Bay Lightning here. The Lightning played a fantastic Game 7. No goals first period, 2 goals second, no goals in the third, and they win 2-0. And the amazing part is they defied all statistics because the Rangers had never lost a Game 7 in the Madison Square Garden. Oh well, they have now. They blew those statistics, and hooray for the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you're watching after the Game 6 loss, if you notice the self-talk that the players had, we've talked about self-talk in this show previously, and it's basically telling yourself that You are very good at what you do, and you will make it happen. Well, if you listen to that self-talk, even when reporters were asking relatively negative questions to elicit a negative response, the Lightning players all said positive things about what they saw for Game 7. They were disappointed about what the outcome of Game 6, but they were full of confidence that they would play well and come back to the standard that they deserved in Game 7. So hockey is one of those sports where the lineup can change from game to game. It's not like basketball where you got the starting 5, you got baseball where you got the starting 9, except for the pitcher who rotates, but most of the players play in the same positions. Well, in hockey, you can dress more or less defensemen, more or less offensive players. So John Cooper's got that heavy burden of who he's going to sit down each and every week or each and every game. Now that they're in the finals with Chicago. So he has to define what is the best team chemistry for that day to take on that opponent. If you think about it, that's a pretty heavy weight to bear, but that's what he knows. He knows each and every one of his players. He knows what their strengths are. He knows where their weaknesses are. And during the week, he coaches out as many of those weaknesses as he can. But then, on the other hand, he also knows what it takes to win against the team that they're playing right now. So this is a great segue for today's discussion, which is about team assessments. And this, if you remember from last week's show, this will build on the DISC assessment that we spoke about previously. We won't discuss the whole complete DISC assessment process. We'll just do a minor review right here for the next few minutes. And we'll discuss, that the DISC assessment is not a personality test. It evaluates your behavior style. And that behavior style can be one of 4 things. You'll either be in the dominance realm, the influencer realm, steady realm, or the compliance. And as far as dominance, a dominant individual perceives themselves as more powerful than the environment and perceives the environment as unfavorable. And we'll now take a break, and we'll come on to the balance of that and discuss more about dominance here in a second. Thank you much.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
We have a special guest on the line, Pete Rose. Pete, how you doing, buddy?
Rick, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Good to talk to you. Bill called me and told me you were coming on. So excited. I know you got the new thing on TLC.
Pete hits and misses. Exciting. We're having a lot of fun and going there and just talking sports with you.
Fires, Rose swings. There it is! There it is! Get out! Get out! All right! Hit number 4192.
Rocket Sports here on the Tan Talk
Radio Network.
Join Rick Sassone in the Rocket Sports Show Fridays from noon to 2 p.m.
Hi, this is Tim Del Toro.
And I'm Lou Angel Wolf, and we are the Grease Gurus.
Our show is broadcast every Saturday morning live at WTAN Tan Talk Radio 1340.
That's 10 o'clock every Saturday morning for an automotive forum that is flavored with humor and insight.
We encourage you to call in and be part of the Grease Gurus show.
We'd love to have you, and we will certainly help you find your inner grease.
This show is sponsored by Tim's Performance Service Center and beautiful Tarpon Springs at 906 Verona Place, and you can reach us personally at 727-543-1601.
Aha.
Guys, you're in Florida. You want to look as great as the weather. Stand out from the crowd. Shop at the menswear store on Gulf Boulevard at the Shops at Sand Key, next to Columbia Restaurant. All the top designer brands are right here. Tommy Bahama, Tory Richards from Hawaii, the largest selection of Robert Graham clothing in the Tampa Bay area. This is a men's shop so good Isaac hasn't even named it yet. Top quality like Olekai sandals and many more designer brands are available. The menswear store in the Shops at Sand Key on Gulf Boulevard.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome. You're listening to Focal Point on Tan Talk 1340. I am Gil Pinney, your host. It is now 5:19, and if you would like, please call in to 727-441-3000 or send me an email at gilpinney@yahoo.com. Prior to the break, we were talking about the disc styles, and we got a little bit into dominance. And a dominant individual is one who's decisive, tough, fairly impatient, strong-willed, and competitive. And so the key words to think about when you're trying to communicate with them is being direct, brief, and always get to the point. The second group is the influencer, and the influencer perceives themselves as more powerful than the environment and perceives the environment as favorable. So in many cases, not a bad place to be. You'll find most of these eyes, are high eyes, are generally in the sales field. The key words for influencers are they're sociable people, very talkative and open, they're enthusiastic, energetic, and they're emotional. And like many salespeople, they talk more than they listen. The best way to communicate directly with an I style is allow plenty of time for socialization before you get to the meat of the matter. Lighten up and have fun, and then use a little touch from time to time, arm around the shoulder, touch their forearm, make them feel comfortable with you. The third phase is the steadiness. That's a person who perceives themselves as less than powerful than the environment, yet perceives the environment is very favorable for them. These types of people are calm, they're laid back, good and steady, careful, patient, and amiable, meaning people generally like to be around them and they're well liked. They listen carefully and they're sincere. So the best way to communicate with somebody of this style is to be patient. You need to build trust with them. Draw their opinions out from them because they're not going to share them very easily or quickly. Present issues in a logical fashion to them so that they can follow your mental path. And then show how the solutions will benefit them in their objectivity and what they're doing. The fourth style is compliance. These individuals perceive themselves as less powerful than the environment and that their environment is not very favorable. The way you find or notice that someone is a C or compliant is they're very precise, exact, analytical people, logical, very systematic, and if the word engineer comes to your head, you're probably pretty close, or even if an accountant comes to your head. Now, those are generalizations, so I don't need any complaints that I was being specific about those two traits, but they exhibit these characteristics very well. They're generally the C style is quiet and does not express their emotions very well, and they're careful, formal, and disciplined. So how do we communicate with somebody that's a compliant style? Always use data and facts. examine an argument from all sides, because that's what they're going to want to do. They're going to have a tough time making a decision very quickly, so you keep on task, don't socialize, don't disagree with their facts, and keep the disagreement on the facts if you need to, and not with the person. So those are the key things to look for in how to identify a D, an I, an S, or a C. And I've got a question here. It's written in. It's from a printing shop owner who says, my CPA tells me to improve my expense record keeping, but I'm too busy selling and bringing in business to work on this level of detail. She tells me I might get into tax trouble. What should I do? Well, you're dealing with two different kinds of communication styles. First, you're not communicating effectively. The printing shop owner is most likely an I or influencer trying to generate a sales, while his CPA is most likely high in compliance or S is in steady. So the words back and forth are not looking for a solution. She's going to tell him what to do, and he's going to resist, and they're going to march down that path for a while. So the best thing for him to do, and her, is to find a common ground or common solution that they can work toward. And if I were to make that recommendation to them both, it would be a credit card that tracks where you make all your charges and what you made them for. Most banks have this feature now with their issued credit cards, particularly for business accounts. It tells you exactly where you went, what you spent it for, and it becomes very easy to know why and what you did. So I would think that should help in the long term and make the life between you and your CPA a lot smoother. And again, think about what style she is versus what you are, and make sure you're communicating in that same or in her language, and then try to tell her to communicate in your language. Well, that leads us to the team assessment. The team assessment is very similar to a standard managerial DISC assessment, which is mostly for an individual or the people running the company. But the DISC for the team members evaluates the behavior of each team member, but it also adds some factors in there that measures how they interact with one another. It provides the leader with the associate's view in kind of a 360 degrees about their leadership and how they see the communication between each of the members of the group and with the leader. The most important part of the assessment is it defines potential conflict or possibly some deep-seated resentment within the team. There may be have a guy named Bill and a guy named Jim, and 12 years ago something went wrong between the two of them, and they haven't been capable of letting go with it yet. They haven't told anybody, but it still creeps in the back of their mind and makes them less effective with one another. They don't really care to work with one another. Well, that's what this assessment pulls out, and the assessment provides actions or methods to improve the rapport among the team players and allows more open communication as you discuss what each individual, or not what each individual, what the group has said about the way they interact. The actions generate lots of rapport and honestly give an overall better impact on the overall business efficiency. It's really a good thing to do for your team. We offer this service. It's fairly inexpensive for what you're going to get out of it, particularly if, again, you're in the C category, meaning you're a CPA, engineering, materials management, areas such as that, or a machine shop, to where you want to make sure you're getting the most out of each team member and making sure that each team member is happy in what they're doing. And there are none of those internal conflicts between team members. So what does the business coach do with respect to the team assessment? Well, I conduct a review session with each of the individuals, and then again, we meet as a group, and we cover all the open issues that we have noticed in the report. And then I also do follow-ups on a monthly basis to see if things are going down the correct road or if there's things we have to put in place to make adjustments for that. There's also a specific assessment for your sales team. The sales team, not that they're different, but their objectives are different than what the managerial or the support staff is. The sales assessment defines how the individual sales behavior is. In other words, what is necessary for that salesperson to become more effective and be capable of closing more sales, and where in the relationship with what you need is that salesperson. I have another question here, came in. This gentleman is a general contractor, and he uses 7 subcontractors. And one of those subcontractors apparently just rubs every run the wrong way. But on the plus side, he's the best at what he does. And he asks, can this team assessment help, and how many people can participate? Well, this is really a great question. The answer is yes, it will surely help, because the guy that is best at what he does yet rubs people the wrong way, he may need some learning. He may have only knows the one communication style that he was taught when he was brought into the whatever business he's in. Say it's a countertop guy. He only knows what he was taught. He was taught by someone. They taught him that that's the quote best way to be. And times may have changed. He may be in the business for 15 years. And so taking a tool like this and improving his ability to communicate and what that behavior style he has and how he can relate better to his fellow subcontractors. As far as how many people can take the assessment, right now the effectiveness rate is up to 15 associates. So with that number, we can cover a very large number of people and develop a real good plan for you and your program. And it's now a little after 5:30. We are going to get ready and take a break here shortly. And when we get back, we'll go to the news segment.
The city of Dunedin introduces baseball done our way. Start with a morning on our pristine beaches. Next, off to downtown for some unique shopping. Then a bit of lunch at one of our many award-winning restaurants. And now time for an afternoon game at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium. Finish the day off with a sunset cruise on the Gulf. A day in Dunedin. A day done our way. For more information, go to dunedingov.com.
Anchorage, be patient. Halifax, hold tight. Prague, Spokane, and Markham, you're just gonna have to wait. We know you miss your boys, but they have no intention of returning before they bring home the Cup, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Thunder. The 2015 Stanley Cup playoffs are on sale now. Visit TampaBayLightning.com.
If you're in the market for your next car, then the place to shop is AutoShopper.com. You'll have access to hundreds of dealers right here in the area, and you can search over millions of cars nationwide on AutoShopper.com. AutoShopper.com is in hundreds of locations in the Tampa Bay area. Find your next car by taking advantage of all the power and reputation of AutoShopper.com. From your desktop, you can read car reviews, automotive news, calculate payments, use our tools to research, and get a Carfax vehicle history report at AutoShopper.com. This is the public publication to pick up and read when you're looking to purchase your next car. Log on to autoshopper.com and search for your special vehicle. And if you want to sell your vehicle, then advertise it in autoshopper.com magazine. The readers can view a picture of your car and call you directly. It's all happening at autoshopper.com, your auto buying and selling source. Pick up the magazine today or log on to autoshopper.com, the premier source for car buying or selling. Autoshopper.com.
Show me the money.
It's the Employment Opportunity Hour with Gene Hodge every Thursday night from 7 until 8.
So the purpose of the show is to help you out there to find something that you enjoy doing instead of a job. And at the start of the show, I normally give out a formula, which I know will guarantee you to find the type of job that you want right now.
Find out the formula to an enjoyable job with Gene Hodges' Employment Opportunity Hour every Thursday night from 7 until 8 here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Show me the money.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
You're listening to the Focal Point Show on Tan Talk 1340, and I'm your host, Gil Pinney. If you'd like to participate, please call 727-441-3000 or send me an email at gilpinney@yahoo.com. That's GILPINNEY @yahoo.com. Well, it's time for the new segment that I hope you all enjoy. It's regarding franchises. And this segment is dealing with the smaller franchises. We're not talking about McDonald's or Subway or the ones that are extremely huge. We're talking about franchises like gyms. There's probably 50 different gym franchises out there. There are restoration franchises. There's a bunch of pizza franchises. There's hair care franchises, learning and tutoring franchises, cleaning services, closets and handyman franchises. There are healthcare services and moving services as well. So there's many different types of franchises, as you all well know, but many of these franchises are either in their infancy, they're just now growing, or they've spread from state to state and maybe only 70 to 80 franchisees. So what do you do when you only have 70 to 80 franchisees? You don't really have an infrastructure for the franchise like you do with McDonald's that has several hundred outlets and owners to produce material for. So they have their franchise package, which is generally it's a training program that you go visit the home office and the original store in many cases and learn how that particular person started that franchise, what the key elements were to building his business at that location, and then they pass that information on to the new owner or the new franchisee, and you become good at understanding what and how they do their business at that location. So you're all done, you get your graduate certificate, and then you're off to start your own business. And you're off to get that franchise rolling in your area. And you move along, and things don't go as well as you'd hoped. What do you do when the marketing system that they gave you appears to be ineffective in your market? Many times you call successful franchises, and they'll tell you that it reinforces the marketing program that the franchisor told you that you should use. So in many cases, the franchise owner may feel that they're alone, not really comfortable with the way the business is growing. But I'm going to ask a few questions because I am your business coach, and this is what we do. The first one is, have you been consistent in using the recommended marketing tools? A few of the franchisees that I have met, they'll try direct mail for a couple of months, and then they'll go, oh, gee, that's not working. I think I'll do more with respect to the internet and Facebook and Google and all that stuff, and I'll do that for a couple of months, and gee whiz, that didn't work. Then they'll try another technique for a couple of months. That doesn't work. And so because they're not steady with their approach to their marketing program, they're ineffective at all, because in most cases it takes 7 to 15 times for a customer or a potential customer to see your name, your product, and understand your service to differentiate you from where they're getting the service now, or if it's a brand new service, to understand what it is. So you need to make sure that you're communicating enough times to each individual in your target market to generate that lead to come to your facility or to call you and have you come visit them. Which brings you to the next point, which is, have you defined your perfect customer? Do you know what they look like? Do you know what that target market is? And a good example of that, is using direct mail to blanket the area closest to your office or store. Do you know really how many potentials exist in that space? And there are many companies that specialize in that type of direct mail marketing, so they can help you to make sure you hit the primary customers that you're looking for. But to do that, you need to tell that direct mail marketer exactly who your perfect customer is and exactly what your target market is. Many franchisees I meet at networking events. And is this one of the tools that the franchise recommends? If so, are you effective at your networking program? Do you set out a good plan when you go to each networking event? I know this is going to sound a little bit like Business Network International, but you need to have that plan to meet 5 or 10 new people each and every network event. By doing that, you're getting your message out, you're getting the information to both new people and people that can possibly spread your message throughout the community and generate, again, traffic to your store or phones ringing at your business. The next key point is, do you practice your introduction? Do you just walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Bill. I sell XYZ potato chips, and do you need any?" That's not going to get very far very fast, because you're first of all, you're selling immediately, and two, you're not coming across as friendly. So you've got to think about exactly what to say. Introduce yourself both professionally. Watch your body language. Think a lot about your body language. Always smile. Keep that smile on your face, regardless of what somebody says to you. It may be hard to do. Ask questions. By asking questions, you control the conversation. So you can ask, "Oh, do you buy a lot of potato chips at your house?" And when the respondent says yes, you go, "Well, have you ever tried my potato chips?" When they say no, you then lead them down. "Well, would you like to?" They're competitive. They have different flavors than what you can get in the store brands. You may really enjoy these. And you then move on a good conversation about how you got into that particular business, what benefits you bring to your clients, and what benefits you bring to the overall marketplace. So think about your body language, how you approach that potential customer, and make sure that you communicate very clearly what value you bring to that conversation, and make sure that the receiver feels that value, and for you, continue asking questions and control the conversation in the direction you would like it to go. When you're willing to give up control of the conversation, you can allow the person you're speaking with to then begin asking their level of questions. It's now 5:42. We'll move on. We'll start reviewing what we've done today. And what we've done is we went through the disc assessment review. We went through the team assessment, which is really a good benefit for any individual company or anyone that has multiple suppliers, subcontractors working with them to make them successful by having them all participate in a team assessment. And again, it's a very reasonable cost. You can find out if there's interpersonal conflicts, potential conflicts between people. And the nice thing is the report comes back and helps you define what needs to be done in order to make this successful and get everybody on the same page. And hopefully get everybody to work harder, work better, and get more revenue through the door. Fewer work stoppages, fewer issues with billing or other things that could cause you issues in the business. We just finished up talking about franchise owners. And for franchise owners, I know there are times you can feel a little bit alone, but there are other times when you know that you've got help. And part of that help can be a business coach. And what we do is we help you look at what your marketing program is, make sure that that marketing program is targeted toward your target customers. You know who your perfect customer is. You know that the tools, your marketing tools that you're using are effective and they're reaching those group, and you're using them at either 2 or 3 at a time, so you can then evaluate which is best for your particular marketplace. And when you have a franchise that's pretty much countrywide, what works here may not work in Maine, or it may not work in Chicago or Iowa. So it may be necessary to modify the recommended franchise marketing program to match your specific locale. And it's now time to take our final break, and we'll talk to you on the other side.
Hubble Funeral Home and Crematory, close to you when you need the most. Hubble Funeral Home and Crematory is conveniently located off West Bay Drive in Bel Air and is accessible to individuals with any physical challenges. Hubble Funeral Home and Crematory has taken great care to provide surroundings of peace and comfort and is proud to offer formal chapel seating for 80 to 120 guests, a separate repose room with living room furnishings for a relaxed, more intimate service, a private clergy room, 2 comfortable arrangement rooms, a state-of-the-art music system, and ample parking. Hubble Funeral Home and Crematory invites you to stop by and tour their facility at any time at 499 North Indian Rocks Road in Bel Air Bluffs. And please feel free to call anytime. 727-584-7671. Hubble Funeral Home and Crematory. Simply compassionate. Find them online at hubblefuneralhome.com.
Let's Go Bowling, heard on the Tan Talk Radio Network every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 Eastern Time. Sponsored by 12 Strike and Innovative Ball Spinner. If you bowl, if you haven't bowled in a while, or if you never bowled, why don't you be one of 65 million people have bowled last year? Listen to the Tip of the Week. Bowling stars, old and new. Let's Go Bowling Show. GoBowlingShow.com.
Did you know there's a sprawling botanical paradise right in your own backyard? Come visit Sunken Gardens. Located at 1825 4th Street North, it's St. Petersburg's oldest living museum. This 100-year-old garden is home to some of the oldest tropical plants in the region. Unwind as you stroll through meandering paths, lush with exotic plants from around the world. Explore cascading waterfalls, beautiful demonstration gardens, and more than 50,000 tropical plants and flowers. Sunken Gardens provides garden tours, horticultural programs, special events, field trips, weddings, private or corporate rentals, and much more. Call 727-551-3102 for more information. That's 727-551-3102. 551-3102. Sunken Gardens, 1825 4th Street North, right in the heart of Old Northeast St. Petersburg. Call 727-551-3102.
Tune in to the book club with John Austin.
Well, I actually taught public speaking, as you probably know, in college for 7-8 years.
You could ask the questions and answer them yourself. I could just sit here.
You ask terrific questions, you listen, and it's just a joy to work with you.
Well,
we should go on the road, you know?
Right, well, I'd be happy to. And
you may not be able to go on the road, but don't worry, we bring the book club to you every Tuesday at noon, right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
You're listening to the Focal Point Show on Tan Talk 1340. I am your host, Gil Pinney. We are now in our final segment of the show, and I'm going to do my little advertising, and then we'll talk a little bit about the June newsletter. And it is June already, folks, so we're coming up on the middle of the year. And many things have got to take place by then so that we can finish off strong in the third and fourth quarter. Many companies have a weak third quarter, so you really got to get ahead in the second quarter, which is why we spent so much time over the last 2 weeks talking about the DISC assessment and today talking about the team assessment. Getting everybody pulling their oars in the right direction and knowing exactly how to communicate with each and every person within your organization and having your sales force capable of meeting and discussing effectively with all of your potential clients, those are keys to making your business grow. So what I need to have you think about is I hope you've gained some valuable information today, and I hope you want to put and implement some of those ideas into your business. I will tell you, though, that it's difficult to make changes without having some level of accountability. That's what your Focal Point Business Coach does for you. I provide accountability and bring success to you, along with many programs that are put together by Brian Tracy and Cam Frazier. Having a business coach really fits any budget. I have programs that are as low as $200 a month. We do one-on-one coaching for those that want direct business improvement, personalized and customized to their company and their schedule. I do group coaching, and I'll see if there's a group near you. Please send a note to me at my email address, and again, that's gilpenny@yahoo.com. I also do workshops for revenue growth, goal setting, time management, and strategic planning, team building. Again, just contact me. If you're listening now, I'm having a workshop next week at Pinellas Technical College. It is at 11:30 next Tuesday at Pinellas Technical College. The subject of that is 5 Secrets to Growth in a Tight Labor Market. And I'll talk more about that after we give that so that we get more people to visit that. But it will be a very, very enlightening and informative discussion. So if you'd like to find out how to get to that, the website to go to is bama.org or bama-fl.org. That will allow you to get on the website and then look for events, and you'll see June 9th, 11:30 at Pinellas Technical College is my talk. And the title, again, of the talk is 5 Secrets to Growth in a Tight Labor Market. If you would like to send me an email, I will follow up with that email with a 30-minute phone session and an hour of one-on-one, helping you through whatever issues you may have and discuss future opportunities. There's no risk, and imagine how you'll feel to know that there are more and better business results from your business available to you, and again, the cost is minimal. For the first 10 business owners that contact me today at my website, which is gilpenny.com, I will include a complimentary DISC assessment. Again, that is an excellent, excellent tool to find out how you communicate and how you need to be communicated to. So we'll now talk just briefly for the next few minutes about the newsletter. And you can get that newsletter by sending me a little email to gilpinney@yahoo.com. Portion of that newsletter, there's several good articles in there, but it's coming at a time of year where you may need to start thinking about improving and negotiating a better lease. And there are many pitfalls that, frankly, until we put this article together, I really didn't think about. And you need to negotiate, even though you currently have a lease, you're in a better position if you negotiate your next lease instead of just allowing it to renew. And today, lease rates are kind of going up and up and up. And the reason for that, and I'm going to quote a gentleman named William Himmelstein, who's the CEO of Tenant Advisory Group. And what he's saying is what's behind the tightening of available space in the post-2008 rebound is when lending loosens up, more people are able to start businesses, which is great. When that happens, they need space. And we are starting to see more businesses, more business-friendly environments with more borrowing opportunities. So many of you have seen the same thing, that banks are loosening up on funds, and it's easier to get money from your banks. Now, start thinking that, like 8 months before your lease expires, what do? Do you just go to the property manager, and the property manager says, well, we're going to raise your rent maybe by 5%, but don't worry about it. So you don't do anything until, say, a couple of months before your lease is ready to expire, and they come with the new price, and it's really 50% higher. You're now in an awful negotiating position. So you should start planning your strategy for a better deal much earlier than that. The Himmelstein recommends that you begin your search at least a year before your lease expiration. And what that does for you is you're allowed to look at other locations. First thing you got to do, though, is verify exactly what your lease expiration date is. But you can go out and find people that are renting similar spaces, find out what their pricing is, but you never let your current building owner or landlord know that your preference is to stay there. So, because if you let them know you're going to stay, you give all the leverage to the landlord. So the most common mistake is to tell the landlord that, gosh, I really, really want to stay here. The best thing you can do is go out, find similar locations, find out what their rates are, and make relocation a possibility, and that shifts some of the leverage back in your court. Also start talking to the other tenants that work with this landlord and have rented space. Are they also looking to relocate? Are they looking for better space than what you've got, than what is available to them? Or are they just doing the bad thing, which is hoping that things get, they keep their word on a low new lease rate? So talk to real estate people about pricing, other retailers, all good ideas. If you assume everybody in your business is going to renew, you're most likely wrong. So again, go back, talk to your neighbors, see what they're doing. Successful retailers take initiative when it comes to renewal negotiations. The landlord is not going to come and tell them when their lease is expiring. They're just going to let it expire and let it automatically renew, because if they do that, there's generally a figure already in the lease that says when it renews, you get a 3 to 5% increase annually. Well, if you do that for 5 years, that's a 30+% increase in your rent, which means you better find out how you're going to generate more and more profit from your business at that location, which means you're going to have to drive more traffic. It puts a major burden on you and your business. So again, the big thing to do is negotiate early and move into a strong position with that landlord. The final thing to think about is, if you do get in a stronger position and you find either another location that you can relocate to, and you get the owner, the landlord, to understand where you're coming from, maybe it's time to start negotiating the other way on the new lease. Can you get some further inducements to sign that renewal lease, meaning new paint, new signs, new lighting, maybe even get your security deposit back. But renewal time is a great time to put all these techniques and issues into play. So think about that before you just automatically sign that agreement. There are commercial brokers that you can also hire, or not even hire, because they work for pretty much for free, because they get a percentage of what you're paying the landlord, and have these brokers look at what's available and maybe advise you to, on a better location or different spot. And the final thing is, always have a lawyer read that particular agreement. And we're on target with the negotiation for a better lease. We've had a great time today. We've discussed the DISC assessment again. So if you're a D, continue your decisive, tough aspect. If you're an I, continue your social well-being. And you steady folks, just stay calm and laid back. Those of you that are C's, keep being precise, exact, and analytical, because we need all four of your styles out there in the marketplace, and we need all four styles to make us successful. Go Lightning! Talk to you next week, and hopefully we're up 2-0. Talk to you then.
Clearwater, Tampa Bay. WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay. WZHR, Zephyr Hills, Tampa Bay. Listen.
Lapse when the end game is everyone. We know how this is going to end. When we've seen such a robust debate already, big debate, not only here in the Senate, but across the country. And when the need to